You know the vibes. BJ, you're listening to the Hoop Genius podcast. Myself, Mo Mooncey, and BJ Armstrong, NBA champion. But I gotta say something for our listeners right now. I'm in a constant state of paralysis this week because because every time I make some content, something changes before I can even press publish. You know, we talk about New Orleans last night, and before we even get the show out to the people, they make a trade. You know, we're talking about Portland and what they're going to do, and then they make a trade. So right now we're recording this. Who knows what's going to happen next? But the good part is we're here every single day of the week. So anything we don't talk about today, we'll talk about tomorrow, and we'll keep you in the loop and up to date. BJ, I know your phone's been ringing, so I ain't going to keep you for too long right now. We got to discuss two major trades, and then we're going to hear from our friend Jack. And then, I know the listeners at home have been waiting to hear Jack and the Sacramento Kings. And then we're going to review some of the trade suggestions from fans and tell you yes or no on your trade proposals real quick. So, BJ, let's begin with the Portland Trailblazers trading away CJ McCollum over to the New Orleans Pelicans. How do you rate this trade? If we had to give it a grade, like A to F, for both Portland and New Orleans, what grade would you put on it at this point in time? Because bear in mind, in the long term, those can change. But right now, today, what grade are you giving it for Portland and what grade are you giving it for New Orleans?
I'm going to give it a B. I think this is a good trade.
For both sides?
Good trade. I think it's a good trade for both sides. And here's why I say let's start with New Orleans. One, they get a veteran, even though he's a smaller two guard, combo guard. I think he's more two than one.
Yep.
I think it gives him a what I would consider a fringe all-star caliber player.
Yeah, kind of the tier below an all-star.
Yeah. He can score. He's very capable. He plays in big moments, and he's a veteran. And I think he plays a winning brand or style of basketball. I think that's a plus for New Orleans. I think he will figure out, even though he's a smaller two guard, Brandon Ingram, I think will complement his game. Provided Zion is healthy, will complement his game. Valanciunas, CJ will provide spacing. I think
Herb Jones. Also, we got to show some love for Herb Jones, the lockdown defender.
Herb Jones, yes. And the only part I think they still have, they would have to significantly upgrade the point guard position, not because who they have there currently can't play. I think they need one of those guards who can break the defense down, create a little havoc, play downhill, and apply pressure to the defensive end. So I think it's a really good trade for them.
I wish they kept Lonzo Ball, because Lonzo and CJ in the backcourt would work very well, because Lonzo can cover up CJ's defensive deficiencies, and it would have worked perfectly. Or even the point guard they had before Lonzo, Drew Holiday, would have worked very well alongside CJ McCollum. But we can't look back. We can only look forwards. Do you see this Pelican team making the playoffs? I was going to say play.
I see them making. I think. Listen, I think everyone is talking about the playoffs, right? There's only so many teams I think that's going to make the playoffs. I think they can make the play in.
Yeah,
I think they can make the play in. Okay, and I don't know if what kind of consolation prize that is. For players, but because I've never played in that, but I really think they are on the fringe, right? 10 through 8, somewhere in there.
Yep.
If they could get 7 or 6, I think that's a great achievement for the team. But I think they are in that category where they can be playing for something, especially late in the season. I was thinking of Devontae Graham. I had a brain freeze there. I couldn't think of Devontae Graham. I just think I like Devontae Graham for what he does. He's a shooting guard. He plays the point guard a little bit, but I think for them, they need a guard who can, play downhill. But
yeah,
and then going to Portland,
a lineup of Devontae and CJ, you're getting cooked. There's no
Yeah,
point of attack defense there. I think Devontae is a sixth man. Devontae is a sixth man. I like a very nice spot for him.
I like that. I like that.
Kind of ironically, Eric Bledsoe would actually fit quite nicely with these guys.
You know who I think would fit nicely there? I'm just thinking off the top, right? I haven't really thought it through. Is Schroeder. Someone like Schroeder.
Yep.
Would I think would fit nice there. You have Schroeder, who's not really a shooter, but you have CJ, you have Devontae, and I think that's a nice 3-guard rotation.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Then
you have Ingram, somebody like that. I think, and then all of a sudden now, anywhere from 6 to 10, you're feeling good about yourself. But all of this depends heavily on the fact is, will Zion be healthy?
Inshallah.
Okay? Yeah, we need him to be healthy. Absolutely. And we need obviously Brandon Ingram to play at an all-star level, like he's capable of playing. And then I think, this organization moves forward, but that's a lot of ifs, but I like the trade. And then going on Portland.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume here that they are going to lay out the long-term plan here, because you still have it's there. I'm going to call the Portland Trailblazers, AKA traffic lights, because right now they're throwing out mixed signals. Okay.
Yeah. The latest rumor is that they're going after Jeremy Grant. That's the latest rumor. Okay. By the time this podcast comes out in the morning, I don't know if they'll have traded for him or he'll be elsewhere.
That's fine. But right now they're throwing off mixed signals because they have a top tier player in Damian Lillard. They are acquiring young players. They've moved off of, they made a deal just the other day with the LA Clippers. Then they make this move. So I'm not sure really what they're doing. Now, I don't know how this helps Damian Lillard. I don't know what they're saying, what they're doing, or are they giving us the signal that Damian, it's time to move on? Now, so I'm just going to wait and see. But right now, it doesn't look as if they are in pursuit of trying to win the final game of the season right now. It look like they've made kind of a little turn here where they're going to go in a different direction. But again, I'm going to wait to see until I hear from the organization or, someone that's in the know-how before I can really make a true assessment of what's going on there in Portland.
I don't know what to make of it because, on one hand, like you said, they could be acquiring these picks and these assets to move them out and use their cap space to acquire players to put around Dame. But who the hell have Portland ever signed as a free agent with max cap space? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not a free agent destination. So having cap space for them isn't great. I know they've created over 20 million in trade exception, so they can take on a larger contract in a trade. I don't know, that might be for Jeremy Grant, that might be for someone else. I don't know. But then what they can do, what I think they'll do this season is try and tank it to get a great draft pick, to add a great young talent to their roster. But I don't know how that helps, like I said on the Heat Check show earlier, how that helps being paired with a 30-plus-year-old Damian Lillard, who is aging. Adding young players around him isn't ideal. So I think he will more than likely be on the move probably in the summer. I think it might be too late in the day to get a major deal done for him. But it's tough. I mean, the Portland Trailblazers never put a good enough team around him to maximize his strength. So I feel bad for Chauncey Billups, who they hired, thinking that he was going to have a team that contends in the playoffs, and now they're kind of bottoming out. So I feel bad for Chauncey. Just a few other bits of news. This is what I said while we were talking between recording earlier. Philly got to find a way for OKC to take on Tobias Harris' contract because OKC are below the minimum salary level, so they need to take on some money. So if they can find a deal to maybe sweeten a deal with some picks or a young player to get that off the books, then that makes facilitating that Harden deal a lot easier. There's a lot of buzz around Dennis Schroeder. There's a lot of buzz around the other teams in the league, but the New Orleans Pelicans made a trade. and not New Orleans Pelicans. We just spoke about
I was
them.
going to say, you just talked about it.
Man, listen, there's so much going on right now. My brain is moving at a million miles an hour. We're talking about the Sacramento Kings and the Indiana Pacers. Love this trade for the Indiana Pacers. Absolutely love this trade for the Pacers. And we actually caught up with friend of the show and BJ's very good friend, Jack, aka the leader of the Sacramento Kings fans, to get his reaction just moments after the news broke. BJ, Jack, BJ, long distance friends finally meeting. Zoom to Zoom.
Oh man, it's beautiful. Jack, what's good, baby? What's going on?
Nice to meet you, bro. How you doing?
Oh, you too. Nice to meet you.
Listen, the Sacramento Kings have just traded Tyrese Haliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson, who I'm sure you're not mad about, in exchange for Domantas Sabonis from the Indiana Pacers, along with Justin Holiday, if I'm not mistaken, and Jeremy Lamb. Now, if you're a regular listener to the show, you often hear about our friend Jack, the Sacramento Kings fan, and we thought we'd bring him in for
the greatest fan, not the Sacramento fan. He's the greatest fan. Jack.
Have reaction.
You know what? If I got a friend like Jack, I'm rolling with Jack. I hope Jack can be a fan of mine because Jack is a real Sacramento Kings fan.
Jack, what'd you make of the trade, though? What'd you make of the trade?
First of all, it's an honor to be on the Hoop Genius podcast.
It's all love. It's all love.
Right. We love this. We love it every morning. You know, when I'm going to work, it's a great show, man. But what are we doing? No, I mean,
Jack, you don't like this trade. I like this trade, Jack.
I hate it, and I hate it, and I love it.
Break it down. Break down why you hate it first.
Haliburton, he's the best. He's not the best player in the trade, but he's the best asset in the trade, if you get me. Potential-wise and stuff like that, absolutely. But I don't think we're done. There's definitely something else coming. Whether that's Barnes or Holmes, or we're using the pick, something else is coming.
But let me ask you this. Would you have preferred to keep Haliburton, who's only 21 and has showed great promise, than De'Aaron Fox? Because it looks like now you're just saying we're going all in on De'Aaron Fox as our guy. Would you have preferred that to be Tyrese Haliburton?
If you'd have asked me before the trade, out of the three guards, Mitchell, Haliburton, and Fox, who's being traded, I would have never said Haliburton. Not a chance. I didn't think he would have been the one. I'd have thought Fox, but with the contracts, we've got rid of Buddy Hield and Tristan Thompson. Good riddance. That's all I'm going to say on that. So Fox's contracts, I don't think would have matched up really if you think about it. So it had to be one of Fox or Haliburton, and it was Haliburton.
you excited for Sabonis?
Our biggest problem is defense. How does this help our defense? He averages half a block a game. Like, I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know, man.
If you guys are listening,
at my wit's end with this franchise, man. Honestly.
If you guys are
Jack,
listening to this,
say this.
Well, one sec, BJ. One sec. I got to tell the listeners, if you're listening to this on audio, you need to get to YouTube to just see the pain in Jack's eyes as we record this. You can see the pain in this man's face. This is a grown man. He's distraught right now. Sorry, BJ. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. You know what, Jack? You are the best. This is great. This is great TV. This is great content. But I'm going to tell you something, though, Jack. I really like this trade. I like it for Sacramento, and I like it for two reasons. One, now you have a nice inside-outside combination with De'Aaron Fox, who is as fast as any player in the NBA, and you have a nice interior player, a 2010 guy every single night. The one thing that's been missing in Sacramento for years has been stability. Sabonis will give you the stability. I think will stabilize the situation. And here's one thing I don't think anyone has discussed yet. Sabonis isn't going to okay a trade to where he was comfortable going. Think about this. You have a star player, an all-star player who said, yeah, I'll come to Sacramento. Because you know what this is triggering. This is saying we're going to sign this guy to the max. So I think this gives you some stability. I think it's important when you have a player that wants to be someplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important because Sacramento hasn't been like a destination. It's not like free agents are running to Sacramento. No. You and I would run to Sacramento. You know what I mean, Jack? But not just anyone. So I think having that with Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, and then building around that, I think it gives you some hope. It gives me a little. You know what? At least at the end of the game, you can run a screen roll with Fox and Sabonis and say, we got a good chance to score, play, and play a good brand of basketball. So I really like the trade. It's not perfect, but I really like it.
I would rather run that screen roll with Haliburton and Sabonis.
We
talk about inside, outside. De'Aaron Fox from the outside shoots 24% from 3-point line. Jack, because you endure the suffering of watching every
let me tell
Kings
you guys
game.
something. Let me tell you guys something. Speed kills. Speed is the one thing that you cannot counter. When you look at the Memphis Grizzlies right now, you're not saying Ja Morant is a three-point shooter. Ja Morant is coming with you with blinding speed.
And he's levels ahead of De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, that's fine. He's ahead of De'Aaron Fox until he's not ahead of De'Aaron Fox. No one was saying this. I'm going to say this. I think the player that will benefit the most will be De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox will benefit because of this trade. Why? Is because you're not going to see bigs just leaving Sabonis. When he sets a screen roll, De'Aaron Fox has the ability to turn the corner now. I think De'Aaron Fox will probably now emerge as an all-star because of this trade. You heard it here first, Mo.
Okay. Jack, do you feel better? Uncle BJ's therapy sessions.
Yeah.
We come to cheer you up today because
I might have to do this weekly, man.
Because BJ, if you saw what Jack was saying in the group chat before he came on this call, it was not appropriate to share. It was pain, rage, but man, listen. On a scale of 1 to 10, though, Jack, how not just yourself, but your fellow Sacramento Kings community, the other fans, 0 being we hate this trade and 10 being we love this trade. Where do you think the fan base, not just yourself, but the fan base in total is sitting right now?
Kings Twitter is in a meltdown right now, man. It's a meltdown. Like, you have a handful. Like, I've just joined a few of the spaces on Twitter. It's just arguments. Some people love the trade. Some people hate the trade. You know, you see some logic behind it, and Kings fans, we're very known for loving our players more than we probably should. Like, for example, Harry Giles. We hated that we never took his what's it called?
Player option, team option.
Player option, yeah. When Vladdy declined that, we hated that. Even I hated it. But he's not even on the team, I don't think. I think he's G League at the moment.
He's off the league right now.
Yeah, so, you know, but I've got no words, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
Jack is going to be loving this trade a year from now. You heard it here. I'm telling you, Jack, I love it.
I don't think this team beats a playing team. I still don't.
You don't think they take out, if we look at the playing picture right now, the other teams there are the Lakers, the Pelicans, the Kings, the Timberwolves. Well, having said that, the Kings aren't in the playoffs play-in spots yet. So I assume Portland's going to drop down. The Pelicans are trying to get stronger. The Timberwolves will try and get stronger. The Lakers will improve. The Clippers will drop down. But do you see do you see you guys making the playoffs?
No, absolutely not. And I've been saying this for years. I've been saying last year, we're already 2 steps back from last year. We should have done this at the deadline last year. Not this trade exactly, but last year, it was another year where we're attempting to push a playoffs with a below average team. We're never going to do it. And even if we do, the play-in doesn't count as the playoffs.
Nope.
I think Vivek could see that as a win. If we made the play-in, he'd be like, oh yeah, playoff streak's over. No, it's not. You're still, 17, going on 17 years now? Come on. But I can't even speak, man. I can't even speak. I'm shook.
We appreciate you chopping it up with us. We thought we'd get the live reaction.
Honestly.
The trade just happened a few minutes ago. We thought we got to get Jack in. That's the first thing I was talking to BJ. I said the first thing I said, we got to call Jack right now. And I also wanted to connect you two because I know, you know, whenever BJ's talking to his people at the Sacramento Kings, Jack is always his first thought in his mind now.
Now I got a visual with Jack. Hey. So Jack, when I talk to the Kings later today, I'm going to be channeling Jack. Jack, hold on. I'm telling you, I like the trade. I know it's emotional. I know it's a lot of moving parts, but I think you're going to like this trade in the end. I really do.
And
I still think something else coming.
What's next? Give us a quick preview. What do you think's coming next?
I think we're going to go for PJ Washington.
Okay.
And send Holmes to Hornets.
That'll be huge for the Hornets. That'll be huge for the Hornets. And I know how excited you were to re-sign Rashawn Holmes in the offseason. And, BJ saying you're going to be loving this trade next season. I'm telling you, in 5 seasons' time, when Tyrese Haliburton is up there with the best of them in the league, you're going to be hating this trade. But we'll circle back. Jack, thanks for your time, man. Appreciate you chopping it up with us. Go on, you were saying?
5 years from now, watch All-Star Game, Marvin Bagley and Tyrese Haliburton. Watch.
Well, one thing's for sure, it ain't going to be Tristan Thompson, so at least you got him out of town, man. You should be happy about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that's what Jack's saying. That's the fans' view. BJ gave a little bit of a breakdown of the trade in there as well. But now it's time to look at your suggestions and your trades from you guys, the listeners to this show. So, BJ, I'm going to give you the trades that our fans have sent in, and I want you to say yes or no for either team. So, for example, Geraint Jones, shout out to Geraint, he's one of the most prominent Orlando Magic fans in the UK, has said the Magic received Marvin Bagley and the Kings received Mo Bamba, Michael Carter-Williams, or a trade exception can be used in that deal. I want you to say yes or no for either the Kings and the Magic.
Yes for the Kings, no for the Magic.
Agreed. Geraint also had another one. He said Terrence Ross and Mo Bamba to Golden State and James Wiseman and some fillers to Orlando.
No.
I kind of like that.
No. Well, if you're Orlando, of course you take James Wiseman. I
like that for Orlando. That's a no for Golden State, but yes for Orlando.
That's a double no. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man, you're taking James Wiseman any day of the week.
Yes.
Okay, Chris Rose has sent in light of the Beal injury, this one involves a first-round pick going to Washington, along with Kyle Anderson, Tyus Jones, and Jarrett Culver, all of the Memphis Grizzlies, in exchange for Spencer Dinwiddie and Kyle Kuzma.
No.
Definitely not for Memphis.
No.
You don't want to. You don't want to.
You don't want to mess
uneven
with
the ship. What's the phrase? You don't want to. You don't want to throw off the balance of what's working right now.
Yeah, whatever they have going down there in Memphis, let's let that ride. By the way, Mo, it just reported here, Bradley Beal is going to have elected to have surgery for the.
Oh, he's done in Washington.
Yeah,
he's saying, I'm not going to be here no more. I'm gone. I hope he recovers from the injury.
I don't know what he's saying, but he's having surgery for the rest.
Do you think he's played his final game in a Wizards uniform, BJ?
I really don't, and I'm gonna tell you why. I really don't, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Bradley Beal is making a substantial amount of money, and I'm just looking at it, the financial ramifications of a player like Bradley Beal. If you're going to take on Bradley Beal, who is a terrific player, an all-star caliber player, one of the elite players at his position, with that comes an enormous amount of expectation. With that comes an enormous amount of pressure. But more importantly, you have to deliver. Now, the question begs, once you commit to Bradley Beal at that number, he's at
it might be the highest NBA contract ever at the time he signs.
Okay. Now you have to deliver. You got to deliver. I'm not sure how many other teams could deplete their roster to get a player like that.
Yep.
And justify it. I'm not saying he's going to get you 20 plus.
He's a very good player. Is he a number one option on the championship team? Not for me.
Whether he's a number one, number two, is he a player where you can say him minus other pieces would do that? Because in the right situation, of course he can win a championship in the right situation. But if you have to deplete your roster to the point where now you can only support it with minimum players, that's a different story. And that is the $1 million question, because you would win the press release, would you win games? Because that's the key. And I'm not sure of that. There's only so many players like LeBron James at one point. You would do that deal no matter what.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard, you would do that. Giannis, you would do that.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, you do
I
that.
don't have Bill in
I'm
that
not
category
sure.
of stuff.
Yes.
I don't. With all due respect to him, I
yes,
don't. But
yes.
we've got more trades. Lewis is saying a lot of people are suggesting trades for the Grizzlies. I don't know why. Lewis is suggesting the Grizzlies get Miles Turner and the Pacers get Steven Adams, a future first and a future second. That's a no.
No for both. No. That's a no for
That's
both.
a no. And we spoke about on an episode with Brevin Knight, who's the color commentator for the Memphis Grizzlies. Go back and listen to that about the importance of Steven Adams and what he brings to that team. GA34 says Harrison Barnes to the Utah Jazz for Joe Ingles, Rudy Gay, and 2 second-round draft picks.
No, for both teams. I wouldn't do that.
I think that the Jazz would want to keep Rudy Gay, but they would love to do Joe Ingles for Harrison Barnes any day of the week. Some people don't have usernames. IWBAWC, whatever your name is. The Celtics trade for Jalen Brunson at the deadline, maybe Tyus Jones. There's a heavy doubt, but he'll be up for grabs. You need to suggest what the Celtics would be giving up. Would that be Dennis Schroeder? Would that be Josh Richardson? Who knows? Mark says Goran Dragic for Miles Turner. Now, this is a trade I've heard a lot about. A lot of whispers around this.
Goran Dragic
for Miles Turner from Indiana. The salaries match up. Goran Dragic isn't playing for the Raptors.
So that would more or less would be a transactional trade where they're just dumping salary.
But Miles Turner would actually come in and play for
that's what I'm saying. But
whereas Dragic would just expire and become a free agent in the summer.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't look at Indiana as being a high free agent destination. So what's the point?
I feel you. They need to attach some sort of draft picks alongside
draft picks or something to make it, because you got to have something to show for it. So I would say no. And I'm not really sure what Toronto really needs, but I do know they need depth on their bench. So if I'm Toronto right now, instead of saying getting one player, I would rather have 2 or 3 players.
Well, there's another suggestion.
They need bench help right now.
Another suggestion from Zubaya is saying Jakob Poeltl and Juancho Hernan-Gomez in exchange for Goran Dragic and Precious Achiuwa. I think the Raptors would love to have Jakob Poeltl back on their team, and Juancho Hernan-Gomez is a solid bench player. I don't know if they're ready to pull the plug on Precious yet, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Precious, you know what? Precious, I don't know his upside. And I'm interested to see what he could be or possibly could be. I'm not willing to give up on him just yet.
And he's got 4 years left on a rookie deal.
Miami gave up him. Yeah. But I'm not willing to give up on him right now if I'm the Toronto Raptors.
Wojciech is saying THT, Kendrick Nunn, and a 2027 first round pick in exchange for Harrison Barnes. Yes or no for the Lakers? Yes or no?
No.
I think that's a yes for the Lakers. Harrison Barnes would help them immensely this season.
Where is he going to play? LeBron James plays there.
LeBron plays anywhere, though.
Yeah, but okay. Where's LeBron going to play? LeBron's going to play the 3. He's going to handle the ball. You already have what's the kid's name there that's playing well there now at the
Monk
2 position? Malik Monk.
I'd slide Barnes in at the 4 and put 80 at the 5 and go small ball.
Okay, if you think that's going to do it for you, great. I don't believe that does it.
That's fair enough.
I don't think that does it for me. I don't think that does it for them. But if you think that can beat Phoenix, Golden State, Memphis, if you think, okay, so be it. I don't think so. I don't think that's a good move at all.
There's a trade here that someone has tweeted in saying the trainer at my gym acquires my wife whilst I get depression in return. Whoever you are that sent that in, I'm praying for you, brother, because it sounds like your life is not in a good place right now. But Connor O'Neill says Miles Turner for Tim Hardaway Jr. I've seen quite a lot of people suggest this.
Other than the salaries matchup, no, you never trade a small for a big.
No?
No.
Okay. Okay.
So why would Indiana do that? What did they get out of it?
I'm assuming they would attach draft picks. That's the only way I can figure out these deals for Miles Turner.
Yeah, I don't get it, but okay. If you even try, if you're gonna go on a total rebuild, if you're Indiana, why did you hire that coach?
Yep,
for a total
Rick Carlisle.
rebuild. Okay, Rick, if you're going to go on a total rebuild, let's get a young coach who's going to be dealing with young players, and you deal with that. Why would you hire Rick Carlisle to do a total rebuild?
Yep.
Again, when I start seeing these mixed signals like this, I just call it. I get my traffic light out and I say, okay, they're sending mixed signals. I don't get it, but again, this is the NBA, but that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, we got one last one from Rob Rush. He says, Ennis Freedom out of the league. I co-sign that. And then he says, Dennis Schroeder for Dante DiVincenzo and a second-round pick. How'd you like that?
Well, they have Drew Holiday there, and then they have, what's the backup guard here? They're in
DiVincenzo. Grayson Allen.
And Milwaukee. Oh, what's the guard's name? Oh, I gotta look his name up. You know who I'm talking about here, Mo. The backup. Who was the backup guard for Milwaukee?
Pat Connaughton? Or are you talking about George Hill?
George Hill.
Yeah.
I don't see why they would get Schroeder unless they've given up on George Hill.
Well, George Hill is out with an injury currently.
Yeah. Okay. How long is he out for?
George Hill is estimated to be out for a few games. That's literally what it says in the injury report. A few games.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't have a.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't see, unless they know something about George Hill. Seems like George Hill to me is a good backup because 35 plus minutes are going to go to Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
So then that's 13 minutes a night for Schroeder. I don't understand that. And you're bringing a guy that's in a contract year and you're only going to play him 13 minutes a night.
Yep.
Now, unless they know something, I don't know. Or there's something going on. Maybe the injury's worse than been reported. Maybe they feel that they need to play small ball or have two ball. I don't know. I have no idea. But to me, that doesn't sound right because George Hill is a bigger guard. He can play against the bigger guards in the league. He can defend multiple positions. And that seems like the right fit for me. But again, unless they know something, I don't know.
Well, guys, BJ's not been impressed with the trade suggestions. And I think the trouble with fans suggesting trades is fans will always send a one-sided trade that favors their team. Every person who's sending a trade, I've noticed the trend of, I know what teams you guys support because I see all your tweets. And all the trades are very one-sided towards your team. You have to look at it with balance. Yeah. I think there is an art to making these deals work. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for the rest of the trade deadline. We're going to be rocking with you. We're going to be here every day, bringing you the latest and the greatest news, reactions, rumors, reports. BJ, thank you for joining once again. And I'm excited for tomorrow's episode.
I'm excited. I'm here. I'm excited to see what's going on. I think, the big thing is I'm kind of stuck here. If we got 2 minutes, Mo, 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm kind of stuck here with Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal to me is going to be interesting because I would not be shocked if for some reason Bradley Beal is moved.
Nope.
Because Bradley Beal is scheduled to make about 200 plus million. I think it's like 245 or something like that.
It's difficult to trade a player when he's injured, but I think with Bradley Beal, I think teams would be happy to make that deal.
Well, you know what? There are a number of teams I think now who have, like, take OKC for instance. I think they would take that to acquire things that they're looking for. Or be able to trade Bradley Beal to the place where he wants to go to get back in return what they're looking for.
Yep.
So I think if you're going to do it, knowing if Bradley Beal is notifying this team, let's take into account what you said. He's out of there by electing to have surgery. then I think it's in Washington's best interest to get something out of the deal.
Facts. TikTok followers will know I spoke about this yesterday. The Wizards need to get some sort of valuable return. And when he's still on the contract, you can make perhaps a better deal. That sign and trade will be possible, but it'll be a lot harder to orchestrate when he's on that level of money.
Here's a trade I have for you. Just again, this is off the top.
All right.
Would you do Bradley Beal to the Knicks?
100% if you're the New York Knicks.
Who would you?
If you're the Washington Wizards, that's a definite no.
Okay, it's not. Wait a minute. Hold on, Mo. Hold on.
Okay.
You can hold on. It's not. These aren't definite. These are things you have to look at. Okay, you get Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is playing at a very high level. That's not the Kyle Kuzma that we saw in LA just a year ago.
Okay.
That's Kyle Kuzma could very well in a year or two be an all-star someday.
Okay.
He's playing. All right. So now they have 4 young players on New York to me that are interesting. RJ Barrett, rookie contract.
Yep.
Cam Reddish, rookie contract.
Emmanuel Quickly.
Robinson.
Yep.
No, hold on. Robinson. Mitchell Robinson, rookie contract, and Obi Toppin. Those are 4 good young players on rookie scale contracts. Okay. You have just a year ago an all-star, a former all-star.
Yeah.
Julius Randle. There's something to consider, Mo, before you just dismiss it. Those are 4 good young players. And then, if you like Quickly, maybe you can throw him in there. But those 4 players in particular, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Cam Reddish, and RJ Barrett. That's value. That's significant value to add with Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, other young players they have there.
Okay.
Talk to me, Mo.
But then if you do that, because then if you do that, right? So you're assuming that you trade Julius Randle and 3 or 4 of these young guys.
You got to make it work.
You got to make the money work, right? So you have to make the money Julius
work.
Randle because he's making that 21 mil. Okay.
Yes.
So let's look at what the Knicks are left with after that trade, because you've just given all of that depth over to Washington.
I'm not saying you give all of it. I'm just saying they have some interesting pieces. I'm not saying you give away those 4 players. I'm just saying they have some interesting pieces on the team that could fit with the timeline of Kyle Kuzma, and everybody could grow together. I'm not saying you give away those 4 players. I'm just saying you're going to be a future GM.
I hear you.
You gotta look at the present, and then you gotta look at the future.
Okay. But
that's pretty intriguing.
I'm saying, as the Wizards, though, I'm not trying to take on Julius Randle and his 5-year contract. I'm not trying to take.
You're going to lose Bradley Beal.
I'm sure.
Let's say you're going to lose Bradley Beal.
I'd be able to find a better deal out there in the market for Bradley Beal.
Okay, so what's a better deal?
I would ring Brad Stevens and say, "Give me Jaylen Brown."
Oh.
Yep. Bradley Beal and Jason Tatum are best friends. You leak it to Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's going to say, "Yo, listen, bring my best friend over here." We know him and Jaylen Brown aren't good friends anyway.
I don't think Jason Tatum would do that. I really don't.
Well, it remains to be seen.
I don't think Jason Tatum would do that.
I don't know. I have no inside information whatsoever. I'm going to take your word for it and hope it's true.
I do know. Yeah, I do know. He's not going to throw Jaylen Brown under the bus.
I hope not. Because I'd rather have Jaylen Brown. But, if you look at the Wizards as well, they've got to move some other they've got to get Davis Bertans off the books. They can move Spencer Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie's another player that could be moved before the deadline.
He could be very well. He could be moved.
He could be moved, and they've got a few other pieces. But all of this could be redundant because we could wake up tomorrow and Bradley Beal might have been traded already. So we're going to have to wrap this up, and we'll be back tomorrow with another episode. I'm excited to see where the trade deadline shakes out. BJ, thank you once again. Thank you to our listeners. Thanks to everyone who submitted a trade. And keep the questions coming. Keep the comments coming. Keep showing love to the show. We appreciate each and every one of you.
We appreciate you.
Big facts. And until next time, my peoples, get buckets.